It's now been raining 12 hours straight, and we know the next 24 to 48 hours, it's going to be really intense.
Millions of people in California tonight are once again dealing with a major winter storm that's triggering flash flood warnings. And get this, even the possibility of a tornado in some parts of the state. Hi, I'm Gadi Schwartz in Los Angeles. This is Stay Tuned Now. And the rain is back in a big way here in California. Right now, we are under flood watches and warnings until at least Wednesday from this slow-moving storm. We've already seen some communities being warned about evacuations, all coming after they just started to bounce back from the last round of severe flooding. Now, this storm is causing high water and flash floods up and down the state, making it hard to get around for a lot of people. And Southern California could see up to 5 inches of rain. In Ventura, part of a freeway is underwater. In the Bay Area, some of this road washed away along a creek. Even the Santa Barbara airport right now had to close. And in Sacramento, crews rescued a man in the El Dorado Hills from a tree where he was trying to avoid the rising floodwater. Now, the mountain areas are seeing a mix of rain and snow, with officials asking people to steer clear of routes across the Sierra Nevada. The National Weather Service expects 4 to 8 inches of rain to fall in some higher elevations. But tonight, the most severe threat is in the Central Valley, where possible thunderstorms could bring damaging winds, hail, even a few isolated tornadoes. We have NBC News meteorologist Bill Karen standing by, tracking that. But first, let's go to NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin down by a roaring L.A. river. Hey, Dana.
Hey, Gadi, how you doing? So right now, the concern is just this slow, steady rain that has been inundating Southern California. Right now, we've got a little bit of a lull, but there could be more coming overnight. Right now, some 2 to 5 inches of rain have already fallen across parts of California, with another 1 to 3 inches expected overnight. There have already been 3 reports of downed trees and branches, and also 4 reports of mudslides. I want to show you this video from Sacramento. This is just one of 2 water rescues that happened earlier today. Officials say that 2 men were in their vehicle heading to work. They decided to drive through this roadway already covered in water, which is a huge no-no. And as you can see, firefighters had to use a boat there to go out and bring them back in. One fire official expressing his frustration over acts like this.
It's what we preach every single storm. Turn around, don't drown. People think they can make it through, and they push the limits of their vehicle, and they can't make it through, and then they require rescue to get out of that situation.
Yeah, it's a big no-no. You don't want to do that because, Gadi, fire officials say that water was actually several feet high.
And you don't usually hear of tornadoes in California, and yet we're monitoring that possibility overnight, right?
Yeah, it's not rare. And actually, this time of year is when we would expect a risk for a potential tornado just because of the storms that are coming off the Pacific. I want to show you this graph here because it kind of gives some interesting data. So the Central Valley is known as the hotspot for tornadoes in the state. But in recent years, Southern California has actually given it a run for its money. So on average, there are more than 6 tornadoes per year. And in the last 3 decades, there's been an average of more than 9 in the state. Los Angeles County has had the most tornadoes since 1951 at 45 reported. Now, February is the month that sees the second most tornadoes. March is actually number 1, Gadi. And I guess the good thing here is that there have been no reported EF4s or EF5s, and I believe only 2 EF3s ever reported on record.
A little bit of a silver lining there. Now, I know the weather is going to be around until at least Wednesday. Do you think people are better prepared this time around?
I sure hope so, and hopefully they learned from the last major storm that rolled through earlier this month, where unfortunately, Gadi, 3 people died by falling trees. So it's a great reminder that you don't drive through flooded roads, and you also want to be vigilant because as more moisture drops, it's just inundating already saturated ground, and that's where you see the flash flooding, the landslides, the mud and debris flows. So even as the storm moves out past Wednesday, it's still important for people of California to remember that there could be a potential threat out there just waiting to happen. Gadi?
Yeah. All of it could happen at a moment's notice. Dana, thanks so much for joining us. As we just talked about, this storm is bringing another round of dangerous flooding, mudslides, and damaging winds to California, leaving this new path of destruction to add to what the last storms did. And NBC News correspondent Liz Schwartz has taken a closer look at the damage we've seen so far.
Tonight, another powerful storm pummeling California.
Whoa!
Up and down the coast, 35 million people under flood watches. The deluge leading to dangerous driving conditions, spinouts, and overturned cars. At least 4 mudslides reported in Los Angeles. While near Sacramento, drivers like this man getting stuck, thinking he could get through this rushing water. Similar rescues near Santa Barbara.
During these storms, people often seem to underestimate the power of water.
They absolutely do. Water can kill, and so be very, very cognizant of rushing water, especially in vehicles.
The airport there once again canceling all flights, leaving travelers scrambling.
They said the airport is closed for the day. It's flooding.
In Ventura County, portions of Highway 101 also flooded. Traffic backed up on the major interstate as crews worked to pump water off the roadway. And just north, much of Refugio State Park underwater and now closed to the public after these once majestic palm trees came crashing down.
There are several of these massive trees here that have been completely uprooted, collapsed into the ocean, and with the soil even more saturated, officials say these trees they've marked in blue could also go down at any time.
This all comes after the deadly atmospheric rivers that pounded California 2 weeks ago. The series of back-to-back storms taking a toll on the state's infrastructure. Overnight, heavy rain causing this mudslide in Northern California, fallen trees blocking the road below. This relentless rain leaving behind yet another mess in this already saturated state.
Liz Schwartz, thanks so much. Now let's turn to NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns to figure out exactly where this storm is headed next. Hey, Bill.
Gadi's been quite a day in Southern California, and even watching these thunderstorms in Northern California, everyone's had a little bit of something. With this storm, we saw the big atmospheric river portion go through early this morning, and that's when we had the majority of the problems and the heaviest rain. That has moved out. Now we're left with scattered showers, thunderstorms, and we will see, since this thing's pinwheeling off the coast, a return of some moisture coming into Southern California, especially tomorrow. You can already see that here in the bottom of the screen. So let's get into some of the details. Flood alerts are still up all the way from Eureka down to San Diego, 35 million people. Again, the majority of the worst flooding has already occurred, but because we can get these heavy downpours and thunderstorms, isolated flooding is possible in any of these areas. We haven't had the wind damage with this storm like the one 2 weeks ago. I mean, that was crazy winds with hundreds of thousands of people without power. At the max today, I saw 20,000 people without power. And we have winter alerts, as you'd expect this time of year. The high elevations are getting significant snow, but it's really above like 7,000 feet. So let's time this out as we go throughout the Tuesday. As we pause this at 4 p.m., you notice that rain, Los Angeles, all through Southern California. There's a band of it here. And then there's more scattered showers and storms that'll come into San Francisco late in the afternoon to the early evening. By the time we go through Wednesday, that's when everything really ends. You'll notice a difference in the weather on Wednesday. It'll be very hit and miss compared to the additional rainfall that we're going to see as we go throughout the day tomorrow. So how much more rain will we get? Los Angeles downtown has already had about 1 inch with the storm so far. We are expecting the possibility of another 1 to 2 inches. So the ground's saturated, the hillsides are saturated, and that's the concerns. If we get those heavier rainfall amounts once again in the mountainous areas, that's where we're going to have more problems with roads getting closed because of debris and trees falling on them. It'll be a little windy, but I'm not so concerned about any power outages. And we're also going to get some significant rain in Northern California. We're not done there yet either. It looks like Central California is the one that kind of gets the break from the heavy rainfall. And as far as Los Angeles goes, we're heading up towards a foot in the month of February. We're getting into pretty rare territory. The wettest February ever is 13.68, 1998. That was a huge El Nino year, similar to this year. So we have 10 days left to get 2 inches more rain. And I already just told you, we're going to get 1 or 2 inches in the next 24 hours. So there is a chance that this February will go down as the wettest ever recorded. And of course, with all the heavy snow expected too, we're really replenishing the snowpack and getting back where we should be, especially in California. And then eventually we'll get some of that snow heading into areas of Utah and Colorado in the days ahead, Gadi. So we're not done yet. Long duration event for sure.
Thanks so much, Bill. And tonight we are learning more about the man who police say shot and killed 2 officers and a paramedic in Minnesota. Authorities say Shannon Cortez Gooden barricaded himself inside a house on Sunday morning with 7 kids inside. And after hours of negotiations, he allegedly opened fire on first responders, killing officers Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge, both 27 years old, and 40-year-old paramedic Adam Finseth.
Medic 2 is taking 2 rigs. 2 patients. Medic 1 is taking 1. Ross County, Vice County, critical.
And another officer was shot at the scene. He has since been released from the hospital. Police say the shooter died at the scene, but everyone else who was inside that house was okay. Now, there's new information on the shooter's criminal past, and we're going to bring in NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa, who joins us now. Maggie, what do we know about the shooter and the family that was in the house?
So essentially, Gadi, we know that the shooter, will start there, had a lengthy criminal history, and specific to one conviction in 2008, it was for felony second-degree assault with a deadly weapon. He was not allowed to legally own firearms. Again, that's dating back since 2008. So since that time, we also found, according to court records, that he had multiple orders of protection against him for domestic assault and domestic abuse. In one case specifically, according to court documents, the mother of one of his children back in 2017 alleged that he, in her words, headbutted her in the face, giving her a black eye and a concussion, and then threw her down the stairs. That was 2017, correct? 2019, cut to then, he petitions the court, according to more court documents, to restore his right to own and possess firearms, saying that he had gone through parenting classes, he had gone through anger management courses, and that he wanted to protect his family. He told the court he had 5 children of his own at the time, and that he was also a caretaker for his girlfriend's 2 children. The judge at that time in 2019 denying that petition for him to own firearms. Cut to this shooting early Sunday morning, or at least it started early Sunday morning. Negotiations continued for hours. What we still don't know at this point, Gadi, is what exactly happened at that house in Burnsville, just south of Minneapolis, how this situation even started, let alone escalated to the point that it did. We know the family included 7 kids, ages 2 to 15, in that home. And thankfully, authorities say they are safe, they are unharmed. But Shannon Cortez Gooden, they say he's now been ID'd by the medical examiner. He died at the scene. So still a lot of questions here, but an increasingly disturbing picture, Gadi, kind of the more we learn about this.
When it comes to those first responders, how's the community there reacting to the loss of those who showed up to that scene to try to help?
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible to see throughout the day. I think we have a lot of images from yesterday and today. We saw police officers and first responders saluting, kind of doing a memorial salute to each other and to the 3 who were fallen. We've seen members of the community leaving flowers and cards, basically a growing memorial outside the police station there. That's been growing all day. We want to say their names, actually, one more time. The 3 who were killed in this shooting were Matthew Ruge, you talked about him, 27 years old, part of the crisis negotiating team for Burnsville PD. Also, Paul Elmstrand, also 27. He was part of their mobile command staff. And then we're hearing about Adam Finseth, a firefighter paramedic with the department for 5 years, who they said, officials said yesterday in a press conference, was helping a wounded officer at the scene when he was shot and killed. One thing officials said yesterday in this press conference, we're going to play a clip here, is that this exemplifies the risk that first responders go to work with, live with, day after day. Take a listen.
Our police officers and our fire paramedics, they come to work every day. They know they have to give up their life sometime, and they do it anyways. We're heartbroken. We are heartbroken.
Yeah, and we're just hearing that sentiment over and over, Gadi, as this community, it's just barely 24 hours out now at this point since this happened, just again begins to piece this all together, right? And one final note, we should point out, we have reached out to the families of these 3 fallen first responders. Obviously, this is, to say the least, incredibly fresh, the pain incredibly new. We haven't yet heard back from those families. We want to be respectful. If and when any of them do want to speak out, we'll, of course, let you know. Gadi.
Maggie Vespa, thank you so much. And don't go anywhere. We are just getting started. The Biden campaign launched a TikTok account, but it might not be going the way his team planned. We've got those details coming up. Plus, a vitamin found in a lot of foods most of us eat every single day might be linked to heart disease. Dr. Akshay Sayal is here later this hour to explain. And an old satellite as big as a city bus is going to crash back down to Earth this week. That is going to be in tonight's Future of Everything, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back, and here are some of the other headlines we're watching tonight. In Nashville this weekend, a neo-Nazi group marched through the streets there. They were wearing black face coverings and even carrying flags with swastikas. Now, there weren't any arrests reported, but there was a lot of shouting as people challenged the group until they took off in a U-Haul box truck. And police say they've caught the suspected shooter that killed 2 people at the University of Colorado Springs. Now, Nicholas Jordan was arrested today, and he's being accused of murder. Both a student and a woman were found dead inside of a dorm last week. Jordan is also a student at the university. And the Lakewood Church has held its first Sunday service after that shooting there that left 1 man hurt, as well as the suspected shooter's 7-year-old son hurt as well. Joel Osteen preached his weekly sermon to a full house with a message about living without fear. And NASCAR driver William Byron won the Daytona 500 tonight. It was quite an eventful finish with 2 crashes in the last 10 laps, even one that shook up the leaderboard heading into the final lap. The race was supposed to be yesterday, but was postponed because of the rain. There was some sort of threat made towards an Air Canada flight today, according to officials. Now, that plane landed at Newark Liberty International Airport. No one was hurt, but you can see police and security dogs searching the plane and luggage. The aircraft was eventually cleared, and now all of it is under investigation. And with South Carolina's Republican presidential primary just 5 days away, Nikki Haley is trying to ramp up her campaign schedule and maybe close that huge gap between her and Donald Trump. Now, Haley's tour bus stopped in 3 different cities across her home state today, but polls are continuing to show her trailing far behind the former president, and Haley might be out there making what could be her final pitch against him. NBC News correspondent Dasha Burns has more.
Gadi, in the run-up to this primary, Nikki Haley is unleashing the full arsenal of attacks against the former president. She's taking him on the border, criticizing him for his comments about NATO, criticizing how he talks about the military and military families, including her own husband, whom he attacked recently. She is really going all out, trying to convince voters that she is a better choice in the GOP primary. The problem is she might be a great general election candidate. We've seen the polls that show her beating Biden in a head-to-head. But the things that she has been talking about are simply not what the Republican base is focused on. But take a listen to the case that she's trying to make.
Donald Trump can't win. And we have to win. That's the biggest thing. He lost it for us in 2018. He lost it for us in 2020. Republicans lost the vote on Mayorkas and the border. Republicans lost the vote on Israel. The RNC chair lost her job. And Donald Trump had his fingerprints on all of it. Everything he touches, we lose. How many more times do we have to lose before we say maybe he's the problem?
But it's a tough case to make, Gadi, when you're losing to him by so many points in your own home state. And that's a problem for Nikki Haley. This isn't just any primary. This is a primary in her home state, which has really changed since she was governor there. It is much redder. It is much more MAGA. It really is Trump country, which is why we see these massive margins, this big gap between her and the former president. And it's not just a problem for her in this primary. It could be a problem for her political future, where a big loss in your home state could make future campaigns really tough for someone like Haley.
Dasha Burns, thanks so much. And on this President's Day, a pretty big slap in the face for President Joe Biden coming from a fellow Democrat in Congress, all having to do with his position on the Israel-Hamas war. Now, Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is encouraging voters in her state to vote uncommitted next week in protest over Biden's handling of what's happening in Gaza. This was her message to voters in her district in Dearborn.
This is the way you can raise our voices. Don't make us even more invisible. Right now, we feel completely neglected and just unseen by our government. If you want us to be louder, then come here and vote uncommitted.
Tlaib is the first Palestinian-American woman to serve in Congress, and she has been demanding the Biden administration call for a ceasefire. Now, this comes as the Biden campaign's new TikTok account is being ratioed in a big way in the comments from Gen Z. And NBC's Alexander Tabbitt has more.
From this to this. The pro-Palestinian protests that are becoming more frequent at Biden events are now following the president online. Earlier this month, Biden's re-election campaign officially joined TikTok.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama Kelsey. I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
And ever since, the comment section on some of those videos are being flooded with posts about Gaza.
I didn't do it for any other reason that I hope maybe we are heard.
Jeannie Nasulu is a mother of 8 from Colorado who made this comment on a Biden TikTok. Nasulu voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 and Biden in 2020. But in 2024,
I just can't in good conscience vote for that.
She says the president is going to have to change his Israel policy if he wants her vote.
Biden has got to step up and do something and put his foot down and say, sanctions, we're cutting off aid. He needs to get control of Netanyahu.
Biden's been increasingly critical of Israel's war in Gaza in recent days, even as his administration works to get Israel and Hamas to agree to a temporary ceasefire.
The conduct of the response in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, has been over the top.
Jack Lobel from Voters of Tomorrow, a youth voter turnout group, says not much should be gleaned from Biden's TikTok comment section.
While this crisis has led to more posts on TikTok, it's not changed the fundamental choice that our generation faces and regularly makes nowadays, which is to vote against Donald Trump. Donald Trump goes against everything Gen Z stands for.
But polling paints a more worrying picture for the president. The latest NBC News poll of registered voters showed that only 15% of respondents aged 18 to 34 approve of Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza, which might result in young voters staying home come November.
I'm not voting for any of them.
Rania Ayub was a big Biden supporter in 2020.
It was a no-brainer in 2020. We absolutely could not have a Trump administration. So I voted for Biden, and I encouraged a lot of people to do the same.
But she plans to sit out 2024 entirely.
It's past the point of no return. I think the Biden administration and Joe Biden himself has shown us all, and I'm including myself as an Arab American, that he doesn't see us as important, except when it comes to his polling.
Alex Tabbitt reporting. Thanks so much, Alex. And coming up, an 11-year-old girl was supposed to get on a bus to go to school, but she disappeared and she hasn't been seen since last Thursday. Someone was just arrested, and we've got some details coming up. But first, you gotta see this. Is this how the Apple Vision Pro was intended to be used? This TikTok user hilariously walked around New York City with all that gear on, and it looks like the people around her are pretty confused. But get this, some people are returning the device because they don't think it's worth it, and they want their $3,500 back. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, and here's some of the stories we're following out in the West. The 19-year-old son of former YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki died last week at the UC Berkeley campus. Now, officials confirmed he was found unresponsive and was later pronounced dead. Foul play has so far been ruled out, but there is still no official cause of his death. And U.S. Border Patrol agents have found a fake Border Patrol van over the weekend during a stop in Arizona near the U.S.-Mexico border. Officials say the van was painted to look like one of its vehicles, and the driver and 11 other people inside, all said to be undocumented migrants, were taken into custody. It's the second fake van in the last week to be found in that area. And Bernie Falls, a popular Northern California tourist destination dubbed the 8th wonder of the world, is shutting down for at least the summer. Heavy crowds have damaged some of the trails and slopes there, largely due to Instagram and TikTok videos made during the pandemic telling people to visit. Park officials say it'll cost close to $1 million to repair those trails. And right now in Texas, there is an urgent search for an 11-year-old girl. Her name is Audrey Cunningham, and she disappeared last Thursday when she was supposed to catch a bus to school. But police say she never got on the bus and she never made it to her school. Meanwhile, a man by the name of Don Stephen McDougal was arrested Friday on unrelated charges, but police say he is now a person of interest in that case. They're trying to piece together McDougal's whereabouts on the morning the little girl disappeared. There is a $10,000 reward connected to that case, and the Texas community is desperate to find her alive and well.
There's always hope. That's what we pray for. The safe return of Audrey to her family.
There's always hope. Morgan Chesky joins us from Dallas. Morgan, what can you tell us about the search right now?
Yeah, Gadi, good evening. This is very much an active search, and over the weekend we saw a large presence of both volunteers and law enforcement that were scouring the area near Lake Livingston. This is a very rural area in Polk County, about an hour north of Houston, near where Audrey lived, near where she went to school, and near where they believe she was last seen. We do know that investigators acknowledge that some evidence has been recovered over the weekend from McDougal's residence, but they're not sharing what exactly that is at this point in time. He, of course, taken in on an unrelated charge, that being aggravated assault. But we know that high-tech equipment was also used, Gadi, to scour the bottom of the lake to see if there was any sign of that 11-year-old girl that, as of right now, remains still missing. Gadi?
Is there any connection between McDougal and Audrey or Audrey's family?
Yeah, some striking details have come out over the last 48 hours or so of people have tried to piece together the connection here from this 42-year-old person of interest, not officially labeled a suspect right now, McDougal, and the family of Audrey Cunningham. And I want you to hear from what investigators have had to say regarding this connection. Take a listen.
McDougal resides in a camper behind the residence where Audrey lives with her father, grandparents, and other family.
There has been information found that there were some occasions that he did drop her off at the bus stop or even take her to school if she missed the bus.
Now, Gadi, one interesting element here is that authorities said that there are some occasions where McDougal would actually take Cunningham Cunningham to school. We know that she was supposed to catch that school bus Thursday morning, but she didn't. And then her family officially reported her missing Thursday late afternoon, early evening. Authorities still working to put together this timeline on where McDougal and his Navy Suburban were seen over the course of Thursday and Friday as they try to piece this investigation together here. Gadi?
And do detectives have any clues as to where Audrey could be? I mean, was she last seen at that bus stop or last seen leaving her house?
Right now, Gadi, they're looking again at that lake, which is not too far from where she grew up, from where McDougal lived behind that residence in the trailer. She never got on the bus. And we do know that as they continue to kind of search through this very rural area, one person who was a huge help to authorities was a convenience store worker who, upon seeing McDougal's face, immediately called authorities and said that he was in her store earlier that day, and that's what helped authorities track that 42-year-old down. That tonight is not being called a suspect, is only being called a person of interest. But important to note here, Gadi, is the only person of interest in this ongoing investigation so far. Gadi?
Still holding on to hope for that family. Morgan Chesky, thanks so much. And if you take daily vitamins, then this next story might have you scrambling to read the bottle, because this new study shows that too much of a vitamin that has long been considered a public health favorite could now increase the risk of heart disease. It's called niacin, or vitamin B3, and this morning Nature Medicine published a study that says high levels of niacin could trigger inflammation and damage blood vessels. Now, this is something that's already found in foods like meat, fish, nuts, and back in 1940, it was actually mandated that flour, grains, and cereals be fortified with niacin after scientists discovered that very, very low levels of it could lead to a potentially fatal condition called pellagra. But with this new study, I guess the question is, now what do we do? So let's ask the doctor with all the answers. Joining us now is NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal. Dr. Syal, this seems like pretty big news. I saw this and I immediately grabbed my bottles of vitamins, and niacin seems to be everywhere. One vitamin that I was looking at had something like 400% of the daily value. So should we all be freaked out about this?
Hey, Gadi, good evening. So, yeah, I think a lot of people probably had the same reaction you did and probably grabbed their vitamin bottles just like as you did. But I think, Gadi, this study doesn't actually definitively say that niacin or high levels of niacin are going to be really harmful for you and really going to cause those risks of stroke and heart attack that they found. And what it did find, Gadi, is that something here needs to be investigated. They found that, they went through thousands of people, and they were actually going on a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes detective case here. They were looking for something that they didn't know what they were looking for. They were looking for something that was essentially causing people who don't have any other risk factors to still have heart attacks and strokes, something we see in medicine a lot. And you wonder, they're doing everything right, why are they still having bad things happen to them? And so what they found was that this compound, it's actually a breakdown of niacin. What they found was that people who had high levels of that almost double their risk, comparable to if they were to have diabetes, double their risk of having either a heart attack or stroke. But like we talked about, it doesn't actually definitively prove that, just that there is something worth investigating more here, Gadi.
Something worth investigating, and when it comes to heart disease, that's the #1 killer in this country, right?
It is. And, when we find things like this, we actually get a little bit excited because we found pathways or things that can be targeted with new drugs. So when we talk about cholesterol-lowering drugs or blood pressure-lowering drugs, things that reduce your risk, this could be another thing, right? We could potentially have lower niacin levels in cereals, things like Cap'n Crunch or Fruit Loops could one day not have niacin added to them. A lot of countries, other than ours, actually do that already. And as you mentioned, that is something that we've done for years. So it does open up another pathway, Gadi, but not something that we're quite so sure people need to throw out their vitamin bottles right away.
Throw out their vitamin bottles, but if you are eating like a healthy dosage of, your chicken or your meats or your salmon, and then you're also taking a daily supplement that's got niacin, and then you're taking like cholesterol medicine that also has niacin, should you try to cut one of them out? What should people at home do?
Yeah, there's a lot of people also even taking niacin now for supposed anti-aging benefits. So I think, the takeaway here is if you're taking any over-the-counter supplement, please bring it up with your doctor. They should ask you. If we forget to ask you, please bring it up. A lot of these things interact with your medications. A lot of these things you may not even need to take. You may just be wasting your money. So I think really the takeaways, there are two things here, Gadi. One, if you are taking supplements, bring it up with your doctor. And two, we may soon see a way in which we don't need to keep adding niacin to foods because we have so much of it available already.
Last question, and this one I've always wondered. When it comes to those vitamins, any vitamin, niacin or any of the other ones listed, and you are exceeding your daily dose, what does your body do to the excess?
Great question. So certain vitamins are fat-soluble, certain vitamins are water-soluble. So the water-soluble ones, if you take too much of it, you actually just go to the bathroom and it kind of just gets flushed out of your system, Gadi. But for those that are fat-soluble, they build up in your fat tissue and they can cause toxic side effects if they get too high. So the answer to your question, Gadi, really is it depends which vitamin you're talking about.
Got it. I will be bringing armfuls of all the vitamins to my next appointment. Dr. Akshay Syal, thanks so much for joining us.
Anytime.
And still to come, Europe's largest nuclear power plant is on the brink of collapse. So we are taking you to Ukraine, where fire is spreading rapidly near that nuclear facility. So stay tuned. Hey there, welcome back. Let's take a quick look around the world. The U.S. military has launched a bunch of strikes against Houthi military targets in Yemen over the weekend. Now, one of their targets was an underwater drone being used by the militia, and it appears to be the first time the Iranian-backed militia has used an underwater drone in those Red Sea attacks that started back in October. And some 400 Russians have been arrested while paying tribute to opposition leader Alexei Navalny since his death was announced by Russian officials last week. Now, people are being arrested for things as simple as laying flowers at various memorials throughout that country. And the Russian human rights group tracking these arrests says most of them have happened in St. Petersburg, where even a priest was locked up. And a shootout in the tribal areas of Papua New Guinea has killed at least 26 people. The violence broke out yesterday, and police say as many as 17 tribes may have been involved. Fighting in the area known as the Highlands has been ongoing, but police say the exact cause of this latest episode remains unclear. And the big winner at last night's British version of the Oscars was Oppenheimer. The film swept the BAFTAs with 7 awards, including Best Picture. It also took home Best Director for Christopher Nolan and Best Leading Actor for Cillian Murphy. And after months of pleading from Ukraine, the U.S. is looking to give the war-torn country powerful new long-range ballistic missiles. 2 U.S. officials tell NBC News these missiles will be able to hit targets a lot further inside Russian-controlled territory. And NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kuby has more.
Gadi, for months, Ukrainian leaders have been pleading with the United States to provide them with long-range missiles so they can strike behind Russian front lines. And now, according to 2 U.S. officials, the Biden administration is considering doing just that. Now, these would be Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, that have a range of up to 300 kilometers or more than 180 miles. And why that's so important is it would allow the Ukrainian military to strike behind the Russian front lines, way behind them, where the Russian military keeps their logistics, their command and control, their supplies. If the Ukrainian military is able to take that out, they would be able to really cripple the Russian military along the front lines. Now, you may remember that back in the fall, the U.S. provided the Ukrainian military with another version of the ATACMS, an older model, medium range. But they have been, so far, the Biden administration has been reluctant to provide them with these longer range systems out of concern that the Ukrainian military could target inside Russian territory and potentially provoke Vladimir Putin for some sort of a larger escalation of this conflict. But frankly, that has been a concern of this White House over a number of different systems, all the way back to the Javelins that the U.S. started providing Ukraine more than 2 years ago. Again, this decision has not been made according to these officials, but the Biden administration, for the first time in months, is leaning towards doing this. Gadi?
Courtney Kuby, thanks so much. Meanwhile, the International Atomic Energy Agency is sounding the alarm in Ukraine. The Zaporizhia nuclear plant is apparently on the brink of a meltdown, and the head of the agency is calling it the most dangerous facility in the world. NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel has more.
It's midnight on March 4th, 2022. CCTV cameras capture Russian troops as they attack Europe's biggest nuclear power plant near the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia.
It should be night.
Pietro Kotin, the CEO of Ukraine's nuclear power company, watched the attack from Kyiv.
This is just a terrifying video, watching fire spread and an attack at an active nuclear facility.
Right, and the units with nuclear materials right here.
The Ukrainians broadcast warnings, telling Russian troops to stop shelling at the risk of a nuclear disaster. The warnings went unheeded. Russian troops occupied the plant and the territory around it. Ukrainian forces held on to the far bank of the Dnieper River, leaving the nuclear power station right on the front line. 2 years on, the International Atomic Energy Agency, which has inspectors at the plant, is sounding the alarm.
You're responsible for nuclear security all around the world.
Yes.
Is this the most dangerous nuclear facility on the planet right now?
It's the most dangerous situation that we have. It's my job not to, panic, but at the same time, I have to tell the truth of what is happening.
Nuclear experts point to 3 main dangers. First, a military strike on the plant, either accidental or deliberate. Second, a power cut. The plant's 6 uranium reactors require electricity for cooling, but Ukrainian officials say 3 of the 4 power lines are damaged, and the 4th is faulty. There have already been 8 blackouts, as recently as December.
When you have a blackout, the cooling function of the reactors is lost, and you could have a meltdown.
And finally, it's understaffed. Ukrainians say the Russians have been abusing employees. 11,000 people worked at the plant before. Only 4,000 work there now.
In Moscow.
Irina Kokot is responsible for radiation detection for the Ukrainian government. Her office predicts how, if there was a meltdown, a cloud of radioactive particles would spread across much of Ukraine and neighboring countries.
This is Istanbul, right here, the city of Istanbul. Contaminated the entire city of Istanbul on the Black Sea. It's a catastrophe, a total catastrophe.
She says the fallout would last up to 100 years.
A nuclear disaster here would be felt around the world and leave large parts of Ukraine and beyond uninhabitable.
Terrifying. Richard Engel, thanks so much. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israeli officials are giving Hamas a March deadline to release the remaining hostages or face a ground assault in the city of Rafah, where only over 1 million displaced Palestinians are sheltering. And NBC international correspondent Raf Sanchez has more.
The Israeli government is warning that it will push ahead with its threatened assault on the city of Rafah in southern Gaza, even during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, if the remaining hostages held by Hamas are not released. That warning coming from Benny Gantz, a member of the Israeli war cabinet, who says that Israel will move into Rafah, where more than half the population of Gaza, some 1.4 million Palestinians, are sheltering, if the hostages are not released by March 10th, by the start of Ramadan. There is a lot of concern worldwide that while there has been global shock over the images coming out of Gaza, the scale of the civilian casualties, that the situation will get only more sensitive during the month of Ramadan. Now, there is not a lot of optimism about a deal to free the hostages and pause the fighting before them. CIA Director Bill Burns was in Cairo last week, meeting with officials from Israel, Qatar, and Egypt. But the Israeli government pulling its negotiators back, saying that Hamas's demands at this point are delusional and there is no point continuing with these negotiations. Earlier, the Israeli military releasing video, it says, shows the youngest hostage, Kafir Bibas, who is a little over 1 year old now. He was just 10 months when he was kidnapped along with his mother, father, and older brother on October 7th. This video shows the family in the southern city of Han Yunis hours after they were snatched from their homes on a kibbutz. That's according to the Israeli military. And this video causing fresh agony in Israel tonight. Back to you.
Raf Sanchez, thanks so much. And thousands of protesters take to the streets in Mexico, criticizing the country's current administration for attempting to make changes to election laws there. All this with the presidential election just months away. And NBC News correspondent Gadi Venegas has a look.
Massive crowds flooding the streets in Mexico City. Protesters joining what organizers called the March for Democracy in response to proposed changes backed by President Andrés Manuel López Obrador that could impact the country's future elections. Changes some critics are calling unconstitutional. The protesters also expressing anger against the current administration after criminal violence left more than 30,000 dead for a 6th year in a row in 2023.
El gobierno actual nos está llevando a la catástrofe. Nos está llevando a estar cada vez peor, a estar temerosos, a no querer salir a la calle porque tenemos miedo.
Organizers say nearly 700,000 demonstrators marched to the Capitol Central Square over the weekend, forming a sea of pink, demanding the National Elections Agency to remain unchanged. The former president of the National Electoral Institute telling protesters some institutions of democracy, such as the Supreme Court and the Institute itself, are at risk. Last year, the country's president proposed drastic changes to the Electoral Institute, which would cut its budget, staff, and would close offices.
Vengo porque creo en un gobierno de instituciones.
Me preocupa el crimen organizado metiéndose a las elecciones y que nuestro país pierda el rumbo.
Lo más complicado es.
But President López Obrador pushing back at a press conference today.
Estos corruptos, los que ayer se movilizaron en contra de la transformación, quieren pararnos. No han podido y no van a poder.
The protests come in the final months of López Obrador's term as president. The two leading candidates to succeed him are former Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum from Obrador's party and endorsed by the president, and opposition candidate Xochitl Gálvez, a former senator.
Quiero celebrar.
Gálvez praising the demonstrators on social media, saying it filled her with hope and optimism to see the large participation by the people who attended. But the most important opportunity for those who disagree will come in less than 4 months when Mexico holds its upcoming presidential elections.
Guad Venegas, thanks so much. And before we go, it is time for the future of everything. And a satellite the size of a city bus is going to crash back down to Earth this week. So why is this happening? And should we be freaking out? Well, we're going to take a look next. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome back, and time now for the future of everything. And tonight we are talking about one of our favorite subjects, space, specifically space junk. More on that in just a bit. But first to the White House, where the Biden administration announced $1.5 billion in funding for the computer chip company Global Foundries. Now, all that money is supposed to go towards expanding their domestic production and new factories in New York and Vermont. It's the latest round of financial support for a semiconductor company after the CHIPS and Science Act was signed back in 2022. And the funding will help create over 10,000 manufacturing jobs and construction jobs over the next decade. All right, so have you ever thought about how much space junk is just floating around up there? Well, apparently it is a lot. Check this out. Look at this. See these tiny little white dots? All those represent orbital debris. And according to the U.S. Space Surveillance Network, almost 10,000 tons of human stuff is currently floating around Earth's orbit. Most of those 10,000 tons comes from satellites, and most of those are still working and pretty small, but not all of them. One of those tiny dots is an old hunk of junk, not working satellite that's almost as big as a city bus and weighs more than 5,000 pounds, and it's supposed to crash back down to Earth this week. So joining us now is NASA advisor, author, and astrophysicist Dr. Paul Sutter. Dr. Paul, thanks so much for being with us. So break this down for us. Why is a huge satellite crashing down to Earth this week not like headlines everywhere?
Believe it or not, this A, happens all the time, and B, was planned over 15 years ago. This satellite, this particular one called the ERS-2, was launched by the European Space Agency all the way back in 1991, had a very successful, long life, a great mission studying our shrinking polar ice caps and other effects of climate change. And now its mission is over. And in fact, it was over 15 years ago. And the engineers controlling the spacecraft used its last bit of remaining fuel to send it into a special orbit that would allow it to slowly spiral in towards the Earth. And then in a couple days, it's going to burn up in our atmosphere. And it's an easy, convenient way to get rid of space junk.
So the trajectory on this is just skim the atmosphere until it's all gone?
That's basically it. These objects, all these little bits of space junk that you showed in that image, all of these are traveling at tens of thousands of miles per hour. So when they run into our atmosphere, it's like a meteor. It comes screaming in. The intense pressures, the intense temperatures burn up, disintegrate the spacecraft, and allow it to just vaporize.
Now, when it comes to cleaning up all that space junk, I mean, do we have things in the works to, I don't know, go vacuum it up? I guess give like a whole different meaning to the term Dyson sphere, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, not content with polluting the surface of the Earth, humanity has achieved the lofty goal of polluting the orbit around the Earth. There are currently over 30,000 objects tracked in orbit around the Earth. Many of those are functioning satellites, but there's also junk, there's trash, there's leftover stuff from missions, there are blown up pieces of satellites from when they accidentally crash into each other. This is definitely a growing problem. And right now we don't have any good solutions because it takes so much energy, so much fuel, so much money to send spacecraft into orbit around the Earth. And then we have to figure out ways to grapple objects and bring them into the atmosphere and drag it down. We have no cheap ways of doing this, but this is something we are going to have to solve in the coming decades as we place more and more satellites in orbit.
And who's responsible for that? I mean, who foots the bill on that?
Nobody. That's one of the issues. All government agencies around the world control space flight and launches, but no one really controls or holds anyone accountable for dealing with your trash when you're done with your satellite. So it's up to individual agencies or private space companies to have plans to minimize space junk, to deorbit their satellites, to allow it to burn up safely in our atmosphere so it doesn't pose a hazard for future missions. There is a patchwork of agencies that all talk to each other constantly to avoid collisions in space. So some operators and even the International Space Station occasionally has to change its orbit to dodge space junk.
Yeah, seems like a not my problem is everyone's problem. Dr. Paul Sutter, thanks so much for joining us. And finally tonight, The Best of Us, this inspiring story of how this group of people went above and beyond to help a woman they didn't even know. NBC's Jose Diaz-Balart has that story.
This moment is about going above and beyond. That's Travis Goldman and the team from the Greenville, South Carolina Public Works Department after they pulled off the impossible. Finding Melanie Harper's lost anniversary ring among mountains of recycling. The guys didn't even think twice about sorting through it all to help a neighbor in need.
Yeah, just thrilled to have it back on my finger where I think it belongs.
You ever think about when you were looking for it, what it is that it meant for someone that you didn't know?
If it was somebody that, I loved and had a ring, I want somebody to find their ring too.
Unbelievable. These are things that just never happen. Essentially kind of figured that you'd never see that again.
I was shocked.
Their help is a lesson Melanie says she will never forget.
It also makes me think to maybe go above and beyond in my daily interactions. What can I do to move forward and spread that kindness that was done to me?
Pass it on. That does it for us tonight. I'm Gadi Schwartz. We'll see you tomorrow, but until then, stay tuned now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.